and Breakdowns.
Okay. Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We are on episode 104, and we have somebody coming back basically about a year after they first are in here. So I'm super excited. We have Greybloom in the house. How are y'all?
Hey, yo, happy to be back.
I know. It was crazy. Well, somebody jumped the gun over here and got here before.
I did.
But still, it's really cool to see what really a year has done to the band itself. So first of all, this will, I mean, the show's happening already, but I'm gonna just talk about this.
Yeah.
The Fall of Troy. What the fuck?
Us too.
Crazy. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Did that just spring up last minute? You guys know about that?
Yeah.
Literally, this last weekend, we got a message and they were like, "We know this is last minute, but y'all want to play the show?" And we were like, "Yep." Yeah. Thankfully, it worked out where we could all do it, but we're excited.
That's so sick. Yeah. I mean, and it was. It's just y'all two, right? It's just.
Apparently.
I think that's what I saw, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's gonna be such a crowd, a good crowd to play in front of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, a year later, and you have done so many things so far. We talked about first touring. You guys have done a few runs already.
Mm-hmm.
What has the reception been to Greybloom as it was? Because we're going into a new change, but I want to see what the reception was the original Greybloom.
Yeah. I think it's going well. I think it's being received in a good way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still growing, and our trajectory it's going upward, you know? So it's we're really happy with how people are receiving us, and it's kind of getting to a point too, in Dallas, we're getting Greybloom in the wild moments. We saw someone at a restaurant one time wearing our shirt.
Oh, really?
We didn't know who they were.
We didn't know them. They weren't a friend of ours. Yeah.
Yeah, we went up to them and we were like, "Dude, we are Greybloom." And
We're like, "That's our shirt."
That. It's play it cool.
Not play it cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. But I mean, I think it's really cool, especially because y'all do all the booking yourselves, right, for your runs and stuff, for the most part.
For the most part.
You do have connections here and there, but for the most part, all the planning, from what I've seen, you guys do it through your own connections that have been built. I think that's so cool. I think from everything I've seen, you know a bunch of people all over the place, which also entail help you with the Greybloom project. The newest iteration of Greybloom, it's still just y'all, but you have a solid lineup now for the band.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting because you have a bunch of talented people on it.
Oh, yeah.
How does that feel, having that lineup now?
It feels great. Yeah, we've had this lineup for
Almost a year.
Yeah.
And everyone, we're just really grateful that they're so willing to, give their time into this project that we're doing. And they've become some of our closest friends, and we all have our own things going on, but when we all come together, it's very much we're 100% into what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's just cool because personally, I really want to see, since day one of Greybloom, it's I want to expand how far can we go. And not in the name of we want to be famous, or whatever. It's just more we believe in this art that we're doing, and we're having fun doing it. And we want to keep that flame going, and to have friends want to be a part of that too. It's just it means the world. We're just in an incredible place right now.
Yeah, I think it's for y'all especially, it's really easy to find that support because people see how passionate you are about your art and your music. So it's really, in my experience, it's been really easy to get behind people who you can tell are about it, who are genuinely do want to create something. And it's like, so it's really easy to support those people because you're like, oh, okay, like they believe in themselves. Like it's easy for me to believe in them kind of thing. So that's literally the energy that oozes out of like this team that you have like built.
Thank you.
Nice.
No, absolutely. Like it's something that comes through like very
so cool,
very great. Like it's something that's like super, at least to me, like is very obvious, and it's really cool to see. And it's one of the things that I in bands and art and everything, that it's one of my biggest driving force to me, like becoming a fan of stuff, is like if I can tell like you actually like enjoy doing and you're passionate about what you're doing and you push it, which I think with the newest release, like Black Dog from y'all, like you have definitely like pushed what like musically yourselves into trying something different. So like I do want to talk about that shift in that track first. Was that the first one written in this new movement, or is
full song? Yes.
Yeah.
She started writing like all the lyric content for the new EP about a year ago, but that's the first song we like completed because we've been playing it live since like last August.
Yeah.
So we've been playing it at shows for a while, but we didn't release it until last month. But yeah, that was the first one that was done in this new era, so to speak.
So last time y'all were here, you were talking about how most of the songs or some of the songs are written like you write lyrically first and then instrumentally after. Is that similar to like what's the structure of like stuff is going still?
This time it's a little different.
Okay.
It was different.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
So I bought a Fender guitar not last year, but probably the year before, like as a birthday gift. And it's a baritone. And yeah. And like a couple months after buying it, I was just, trying to like learn this instrument. I've never owned a electric guitar before. And I really like tones. Like I'm not interested in like being a shredder, that's just kind of not my experience with it so far. So I was just more exploring like different chords and what moves me. And then one day, it was around this time last year, I was writing on this guitar and structuring out a song, and I was just like, ooh, this is very Greybloom.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And so I just like tracked it on like a voice memo on my phone. And then I had my acoustic and I was just like playing around with different tunings there too. It's like that Bon Iver song, like Wolves Part 1. Is that what it's called? I forget. But that tuning specifically, I was like, I just want to see what I can write in this tuning. And 3 songs came out of that. And like,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all those 3 are going to be on like this new EP that we're going to release. So yeah, I kind of had a hand in composing like majority of the songs that like will be released soon.
Yeah.
And that was a very cool like experience or like perspective for me to gain because it's not just I have all these lyrics and now I have to rely on my friends who play guitar to lay it down. And now it's like I understand what they go through when they're trying to tell a story musically without words. So yeah, that's cool.
That is really awesome because that is the struggle that I've always had. So I relate to like wanting to be able to do that. I just never like got past like learning an instrument for songwriting. Like because I grew up playing like classical guitar and then I played like flamenco guitar, but I never like That's literally all I did like through like middle school and high school, and then like I even had like a band like for a little bit.
Bro, what?
Bring it back. Flamenco chord.
That's like such a flex. Oh my god.
A friend of mine sent me like he was like digging through stuff and found like the CD that we had. It was like 3 songs or something, and I'm like, oh my god, like I need that now. Like I forgot where he's at. I'm like, just mail it to me or like upload it or something.
Yes.
But yeah, but I've never been able to structure songs around because I love to sing, so I've never been able to structure like a song on like an instrument to like what's the melodies going on in my head. I could build them all day here, but I always had to rely on bandmates or somebody that I can be like, hey, it goes like this, and then do like your whole instrument talk. It's like, yeah, you get it, and then they don't, But I feel like so how did that translate as far as like the writing dynamic? Like, were you able to easily show like where you wanted to go a little easier to like Erin and translate that a little easier?
Yeah, for almost everything, like everything that she wrote as far as like progressions of the songs, we kept almost all of that the same.
Wow. Okay.
So obviously it's not all on acoustic guitar. There is some acoustic guitar on the EP though that she tracked and played.
Is there?
Let me just, is there?
Oh, wow, that's a surprise.
Yeah, I know.
Are you sure about that?
There was the one song that she wrote on her baritone, which she also tracked and played on her baritone for the EP.
That's
sick.
sick.
So sick.
Yeah.
She killed that. And then, so like Black Dog, let's take that one as an example.
Mm-hmm.
She had like a full chord progression, like full song structure all on her acoustic when we were writing that song. And I literally kept almost all of it exactly the same. There's only one little section where I like kind of took out her progression and subbed in something different with a riff that I wrote. But it was actually really cool for me because, I mean, even with the way we wrote the first EP, I just would kind of like write around what she was feeling. But I mean, I really am proud of her for like pushing herself because she's played guitar for a long time.
Yeah.
She didn't say that. She's played for a while. But I'm really proud of her and like how she pushed herself to like put those things hand in hand on this EP. And I'm so happy with how all the songs turned out. And they evolved beyond just the acoustic demos, of course. But I mean, we kept it almost all the same as how she wrote it.
That's really sick. That's a really sick. Again, like we look at like the last year and like, oh, like, you know, from going the way the last record was written and then going to how this is written, like you becoming more involved in understanding and just understanding each other like more in the songwriting, especially like, I guess, you know, a spoiler alert, I did listen to like the EP already because like, y'all were nice enough to send it to me. It is fucking great. Like it is so good. I absolutely, which I had like an inkling because like when Black Dog dropped, like I think was like working out at the gym and I was just like hanging out. I was like, oh, like I finally had a time to like really listen to it and I'm like, I like this direction a lot. Like I really liked it. And then listening to like the EP, it was just really nicely structured. I feel like especially after listening to your solo album, like, and I felt like there was a lot of that like involved in like this record too.
Yes.
Like, it definitely like I was like, oh, this makes sense. Like, you know, hearing that and then hearing like the a lot of like the just the lead like guitar parts in it. There's definitely I think like some crossover and like bleed over in style. Did you take a lot of like your experience in writing that solo record and then try to bring some of it to crossover into Greybloom?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with my solo record, that was like very self-indulgent because it's just like, it was just my project. I'm like, this is what I like to play. So that's what I tend to gravitate towards when I'm just like fully in my zone and doing what I like best in terms of playing and writing. But when we were approaching this EP, especially with Black Dog, we already knew going into it, like, this is going to be really different from the first EP. Not as heavy. Now, of course, there are a few heavy moments on the EP, but overall it is not as heavy.
Yeah.
And I think like with my solo EP, like my style kind of tends to lean that way naturally. I enjoy playing the heavy stuff and writing the heavy stuff. I think going into the first EP, we were kind of just like, let's be heavy and like, let's just like fuck shit up and write some breakdowns. Like, and kind of, we still love all those songs. It's like no shade to those songs or that project at all. But yeah, I think this is definitely more, you're right. It's very much more in line with like those tones and melodically and rhythmically, like what I like to do overall. Still like a little riffy breakdown every now and then too. Yeah. But yeah, it's softer for sure overall.
Yeah. I would say like lyrically it's still heavy. But yeah, I feel like since day one of Greybloom, like we really value creative freedom. So like if there's an EP where, like I would say Widow's Weeds, Erin took more of the lead with composing like the structure of most of like those songs. And then like this upcoming EP, I kind of took the lead direction in that, and then like having Erin like plug in like her guitar parts, it just kind of gave it. It was like seeing like black and white lines, and then it just kind of came into like this whole colorful picture of like, oh, this is a whole world. Like this is literally like me opening myself up to showing whoever is going to listen to these songs into like my imaginary world. Yeah. And like, it's just so cool to hear it like in songs. So
and this is the way I took it in when I was listening to it. And then just after finishing it, and then I gave it another listen, and I just really wanted to take it in. It definitely feels like, especially now that I know like both of you, and kind of like your writing styles and stuff, it just felt like a more natural like melding of two and progression of like from the last record, like, and seeing like everything like the band has done and everything that you're doing, and then writing, it felt like it found its place a little more, like your writing styles in each other's like writing styles, like it made more sense to me. Not like, again, nothing against the first record. The first record was cool, but the way I remember saying, the way you wrote the last one was more of like, oh, this is, I wrote something lyrically, and you were kind of like building something around that, and now it felt like you guys were building together a little bit more. So it kind of it definitely did come through like on the record. I know I obviously I just heard it, so I don't remember all the names, but that third song, the way it kicks in, that shit gets me pumped up. Like, and just in the progression of that song alone, like, is kind of cool because it doesn't necessarily just stay like that. Like, there's, I mean, the ending is a lot different. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of energy in like those songs. And again, like anytime I listen to stuff, especially like music of bands that I know, like I always picture stuff live, and like that's when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna love like hearing this live. So the first, obviously the first single was released a little bit ago. Is there like do you already have like a plan for like the EP? I know you just got like the songs.
We just uploaded it for distribution yesterday. Okay, so it's releasing on April 19th.
April 19th?
Officially. Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, so 3 more
exciting.
weeks.
And you'll be able to see it live on July 13th in Dallas at Reno's Chop Shop.
Hey, Chop.
Yeah.
Reno's Chop
I'm excited. I remember seeing like the venue like on the corner in Bellum, and just thinking like, man, I'm gonna get beat up there someday. This is not my time.
Reno's gives that vibe. Reno's does give that vibe. Yeah. Have you been in Reno's before?
Actually, no, I haven't.
No,
I've never been there.
It's kind of interestingly structured. So like where you see it on the corner, you go in, and they just have like a giant like bar area. So you have to go like all the way through that, and then they have like a separate room where like that's the actual stage and venue. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like I think it's a vibe, but yeah, it does give the I'm gonna get beat up here vibe. Yeah, I feel that.
Hell yeah.
So are you just incorporating into the set list, or is it like you want to play like most of it? I mean, because it'd be kind of, I guess, difficult to play all of it live.
We're gonna play it all live.
Play it all live.
Some of it is gonna be tracked, like. Not every single element of the entire EP will be played live, but for the most part, yes, it's going to be all played live.
Like, I'm going to be playing my guitar. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she is playing and singing.
It's so fucking hard.
That's what I mean.
I mean, sorry. No, you got it. I'm sorry. I don't want to discourage you.
She can do it. Yeah, absolutely.
She's got it.
Oh, so how's that like been like trying to have those rehearsals like been taking place? I'm assuming so. Yeah.
Yeah, we've started rehearsing in March. We haven't gotten to like the song where like I'll be playing guitar yet, because we're focusing on our 2-week tour in the West Coast right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we get back home, I'll be like sitting down with that song. It's only like a minute. But still, it's just like I've never played electric like in front of people. It's always been like acoustic. But I think it'll translate well. It'll be fine. It's just I just get it in my head sometimes. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Like Erin was saying, like you've been playing like guitar for a long time now, right?
Yeah, but like like just chords. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing too like lead guitar, you know. It's just like more like rhythm stuff, I guess you could say.
I feel like, I feel like you're right. It'll translate better. For you, at least, that already has the experience. I mean, and you wrote the song, so you have that experience behind you.
Yeah.
So you are going on a run here. With who are you going on?
Careful Days.
Careful Days.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
How excited are y'all for that?
So excited.
So stoked.
Is that the first one of this year? The first one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then where are you guys headed?
All over like the West Coast.
Yeah, so we're meeting up with them in Washington State. So we got a long drive right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And then we got like a couple shows in Washington, Oregon, California, New Mexico.
I think Arizona. It was,
you're right. Yeah. Arizona.
It was going to be New Mexico.
You're right. It's Arizona instead.
Yeah.
And then Amarillo will be the last show for us, and then we'll come home after that. And then the dudes are going to keep going a little bit further to get back home. But yeah.
That's so cool that's just like commonplace for y'all now. It's like, oh yeah, we're going out. Like it's so awesome
weird,
to hear, like to hear and listen to it.
Yeah.
Like that, and then the fucking Post Fest. Man, that was absolutely insane. I was like, you were
telling us.
So, yeah, Erin spilled the beans a little like while ago, but also like I'm not familiar with Post Fest. So then I saw like the lineup drop. I'm like, oh shit, like okay,
legends.
It's kind of crazy.
We're playing with legends this year.
It's
like
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I can't get over that. But that's how does that something like that like happen? Like, is this just connections or like,
knowing the right people,
knowing the right people, right time.
Yep, and shooting your shot too.
Yes,
like we knew some people from Post, and I attended the fest last year and kind of chatted with some of the people there. But yeah, we just like sent them a DM also last year when they were like when they announced the dates and they're starting to get to the planning. We're just gonna message them and be like, we would love to play the fest. If not, we'll be in attendance and we'll see you there regardless.
Yeah.
And then they were already like, oh yeah, you're on the list being considered. And we were like, what? And then a little bit later, they were like, can we get your email? And we were like, what?
What?
And then we got an offer and we were like, oh shit.
Yeah. I think the offer literally happened on my birthday.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, best birthday present ever. Yeah.
Have both of y'all like become more comfortable with the idea of like networking and like figuring out like knowing people here or just shooting shots in general?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah. I think like last year, the tours that we did, like, it was like a weekend run in Texas and then a week-long run in the Midwest with Secret Gardens. That opened our eyes a little bit more to like the booking process and like how important it is to like know the right people with the right plugs, but also like to be a kind person. And like there's that good balance of like, we're an independent band, DIY, like no label at all. We're the ones having to like, we are the face going forward of like, hey, like we believe in this project. Like we're trying to find people who believe in us too. And to like see this year with like the 2-week tour and then Post Fest and then Fall of Troy, like that's fucking big. Like it's massive, dude.
Yeah.
Like I can't. It's really. I feel like I'm still learning, and I've learned a lot in the last year. But yeah, it's just really important to like just put your best foot forward.
Yeah. So I was talking to somebody actually recently, and we were talking about like the idea of like that. I guess the rock star lifestyle of like you going places and trashing shit, and I'm like, I feel like that can't exist anymore because like you need all these like connections, all these people, like all these venues aren't gonna have you back. These promoters aren't gonna want to deal with you. Like if you're like a giant mess or just like fuck shit up for them. And I like that it fosters a community of people being kinder, whether it's for like selfish reasons, but at least like people aren't out there like being assholes to just everyone who's helping them out. But I feel like it's fostering a better community and people just like respecting each other. And then we've had that with Noise Rock. We're meeting people all the time and like booking stuff, and we try to do like the best because like, oh yeah, we want them to come back through town, and just figure out like the best ways to keep those relationships, even if stuff doesn't always work out. It's like, okay, what's the most decent way, or what's like the decent thing to do in this case, that so it works out for everybody? Because I mean, we've had stuff happen where like I think like one of our shows got like was during like the ice storm, but like some band was already on the way, so we had to figure out a way like well, it can happen, but we can still figure out a way to kind of take care of like the band, like little like compromises, stuff like that. Just help be like, okay, like I'll come back again like the next time. We've had several relationships, and it's really not that hard, I think, for the most part, for just to not to be a good person.
Yeah, it really isn't. I think it's just, like we do our best to like, we're going to be humble and just like, we're so very grateful for like all the offers we have been given. And like, I think with that attitude, that's what's brought us to where we are like in the last year. Like, I know that we're very fortunate as a local band to be given the experiences that we have already. Like, I feel like we're living every band's dream. Yeah. I'm not trying to like rub it in people's faces, but like,
you suck. Get on Greybloom's level.
God, no.
But
it's a joke.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to like, what I mean is like, what kind of experience do you want in your band? Yeah. And like for us, we're going as far as we can go, and like, we're there. We're shooting for the stars, and we're there, and we're gonna keep going, and we're just gonna we're gonna learn as much as we can as the journey continues.
Speaking of learning, like you have a few runs under your belt. Like, is there anything like, especially going into the last year, where like doing your first few runs, anything you came back from those runs being like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna do this next time, or figuring out a better way to do something on the road, or even like, oh, like I should have brought this with me, like on the road or something like that.
What's it
It's happening again. Y'all did that so much last time. We would do the same sounds at the same time.
Dude, we live together now.
We're besties, we're roomies, we're bandmates. Like, yeah. We're the same person at this point.
I have an answer. I was just gonna let you answer.
No, I'm thinking.
Okay. Like personally, for me, like my biggest thing is communication and knowing when to communicate. Like, I just need alone time and not to be ashamed to verbalize that. Yeah. And like, I'm just like growing as like an adult, realizing, what behaviors I've had in the past growing up as a kid or teenager. It's like, okay, that was like my childhood. Now it's like, okay, kick that in the butt and like take responsibility, for like your emotional well-being, and learn, like, I'm around friends and people who love me. It's safe to say like I'm overwhelmed, or like I just need a minute to like get my mind right or whatever, because being on the road, it did affect like my mental health in a way that was like when you're kind of stuck in a vehicle for hours and it's just like my mind is just racing. And I was trying so hard to like, listen to music, or, like I had my knitting with me. And I don't know. Yeah.
Hardcore shit.
It's like I'm soft but strong.
Exactly.
I have a little bit of a
That's
underbelly.
the next Greybloom t-shirt.
Knitting needles.
Indeed.
Dude, merch idea.
Merch idea right
yeah, with custom Greybloom like yarn.
Oh,
dude. Anyways,
we're locking this away for later.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I would say just getting comfortable with communicating when you just need the space, and then to take care of yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's definitely important, especially on the road, because like one of the things I was talking to, I think I was talking to, AJ from Dispositions and Bailey were here the other week, and we were talking about like how on tour there's no like, oh, like after a show, like I'm going home, like to your comfort zone, like you are always like out of it, like for the road. So stuff like that is important. Like, okay, like I can't go back into like my specific safe space, so I need to create one. So whether that's like, let me take a step back and let me just like listen, or let me just like, take a step back and just be alone, or take time to just listen to music and not worry about having to, well, what does somebody else want me to like to do right now? Or like, would people would want me to be around right now? And I'm just like, no, if I take a step back, then I can, be better to be around them,
Yes.
or be around the rest. Especially again, you are stuck in that, a van with like these people, and yes, they are like your friends, but when you have those moments, if you don't take time for yourself, then it's easy to react to things in like different ways and make the whole situation like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it's easier to just be like that. But you're right, like stuff like that is hard to learn when you have always experienced like the opposite, where you like weren't around like friends or anybody that cares about you. So you learn like, oh, I'm not gonna bother anybody with this, or like it's gonna cause something if I say like I need to be alone. But it is a hard thing to unlearn, to be like, oh, I can say these things. I do it so much now, like that, and I'm like, oh, this is super easy. Like I don't like, it's weird, but it's like, oh, if I don't want to be in a place, like I don't have to be here. Like it's as simple as that. But yeah, I've learned that a lot more, like in just like certain moments where I'm just quiet, but I'll be vocal about like, especially like with like Sierra, I'll like all the time I'm just like, oh, okay, he's like, I'll be quiet for like a little bit. I just like turn him like, I'm really gonna be really quiet right now. It's like, it's not because of you. I'm just like, there's just a lot going on like in my head, so I'm just gonna let it be. And she's like, okay, instead of like at first, like I used to react like, oh, like if I say this, like they're gonna want to like immediately like explore it or talk to it or push it. But literally once you find your comfortable spaces and you realize that people are like willing to be more accepting and be like, oh, okay, yeah, take your time. Like that's how you know, like, oh, okay, I'm with around the right people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That don't hold that against you. You think of anything, Erin?
I mean, just prepare for every possible scenario.
Dude. You want to?
I feel like there's a story behind it.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things. I may not say what you're thinking of, so if I don't, you can take the wheel. But I mean, we are both very prepared people in general. Not like doomsday prepper level shit, but like
I kinda,
she kind of low key is.
I'm kind of a doomsday prepper.
Every time there's like
pantry stocked
with dead ass dude, because literally anytime there's like a threat of like inclement weather,
guilty.
She's texting the group chat and she's like, "Be watching out for the weather tonight." And then like with the ice storms, she's like, "We need to have this, and this in the apartment. We need to have all this stuff in the pantry." And I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
But also, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Because better to be prepared and be good than be unprepared and be fucked in a situation,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say I'm pretty good about that to an extent. She takes it to another level.
Yeah.
So between the two of us, we are very
so
prepared. Very over-prepared.
Oh my gosh.
But I will say on this tour we're about to go on, it's going to be interesting because we're not taking a trailer on this tour. We're taking just a van with our crew.
Yeah.
And it's going to be packed to the gills. So we're going to prepare as much as we can, but we also don't have a lot of extra room to bring a bunch of extra stuff. But I mean, we're very vigilant when it comes to like checking the vehicle. That happened on the last tour.
Oh, yeah.
We stopped at a gas station to get gas, and we're all out and about, walking around. And someone just happens to walk over and look at the tires, and they see one of the tires on the van is like, oh, the threads. We can, like, see the threads coming through on this tire. And we were like, oh, shit.
That's not good.
Like, the little metal threads coming through. Yeah. So, thankfully, there was a spare. So, we, like, put the spare on and then ended up going and getting the tire replaced that night. It all worked out, but it's just, like...
Practical things
you have to, like, think about and be very vigilant and yeah.
Yes, because like again, out there, it's just that tire blows like on the side of the road, like you could be stuck.
Right.
And there's like you're making long treks, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So they like in those long like roads, like you end up stuck, and they're like, okay, like it's so far to the next town and so far. So even calling somebody like, it's gonna take forever to get there. Being able to to pay for whatever that's gonna cost, so like someone to come out, and all that. Being prepared for that kind of stuff it's not the most glamorous like view of like tour life, but it's stuff that you need to be like going out there knowing them like, okay, if this happens, we need to be prepared because of this, that stuff. Like, you know, like checklists. I think I've heard like people just like forgetting stuff in like the town before. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not as easy to just like, oh, I'm gonna go back and grab that, you know, like you're at the next venue and you like, just push it forward, you know. That's definitely the scary part. But if you're being a lot more prepared, I would be terrible at it. That's why I think I never went on the road with my band, because I'm like, I would have lost everything. I'm the type, I hate lists. I hate making everything. I'm like, these things suck.
We love to make lists.
We love
You guys are perfect.
Yeah.
I'm happy Sierra loves to do that, and I'm just like, oh, cause she's always like, oh, because I'm always the one who's like, I have to do this and that tomorrow. And she's like, make a list. And I'm like,
You're like, no.
I was like, I got it. It's fine. And then like, I've not been diagnosed, but I might have ADHD. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, my brain just jumps from one thing to the other. So I'll like have to like 6 things in a day. If I don't like make a list. Yesterday, like I had stuff to do, so I made a list. And I was like sending it. I was like, see, I made a list. Okay, I'm checking things off. And it actually helped. Like I did stuff.
Yeah, it helped.
Maybe there's a thing to this, you know?
Yeah.
But then that, nothing crazy on the road, like happening.
We had, what were you gonna say what I said?
The tire.
Okay.
The tire.
We had, I mean, I think we've also been very fortunate in our touring experiences so far. Everything has been very good for the most part. Every place we've gone, bands we've played with, venues, all that. There was only one show on our last tour where the venue situation was just like horrible Worst communication. Experience. Like, it just was not good. And we kind of had to advocate for ourselves a little bit in that, because like, basically it was already a late show. For various reasons, it kept getting pushed back and back and back. Like the sound person was like an hour late. There was like no staff there other than the bartenders. We're asking them, and they're like, "We don't know what to tell you." And we're like, "Oh my god!"
And it's like a DIY venue, but it's like they took the term DIY too literally.
It's like y'all actually have to do something.
It's like y'all
have to be doing something to make it DIY. You're doing nothing. And we eventually put our foot down. We were like, we're starting the show. Like, this is starting. We cannot be here all night. And it ended up being, you know, it was, could have been worse, I suppose. It wasn't the best experience, but we learned a lot from it. And I don't think we'll be back at that venue.
We're not playing that venue again, but like, we had people show up for us, like friends and like people that listened to us that we got to meet for the first time.
People from like hours away. Like I had one of my best friends drove like 3 hours to come see us at that show. So that's what I'm saying. Cool. It's like, even though it was bad, it was worth it because there was still good that came out of that. You know?
And again, you're right. Like, it's all like a learning experience. You learn like all these things. So you come back and you're like, yeah, I'm not going back there. Or, you know, like, oh, next time I see something like this happening, oh, I'm going to advocate maybe a little harder. Be like, oh, no, we have to start now, you know, because there is stuff does happen. Like, you know, you have to learn how to kind of roll with the punches, but you also are learning like, oh, this is where we need to put our foot down and just like work through this. Which is tough, you know. It's tough to do, especially like out on the road somewhere where it's again a new space. You're trying to figure out how do I manage that with also like not necessarily like burning a bridge or something like that. So learning to work with people who you're just meeting like for the first time. But it's cool. The more you go on the road, the more you know those people, and you maybe come back to the same venues and like, oh, okay, like I know that these people like know how to run their like shows and stuff like that. Yeah, that's really cool. But it's one of the terrifying things about like touring. But I mean, getting to play your music like in different towns live for like whole new audiences must be so sick.
It's truly like such an honor to do that, and like I feel like it's just like a once in a lifetime kind of experience, and like we're just in a place in our lives where we're able to do that. So it's like if you're able to do it, like the time is now. Go forth. Is
that like the attitude you take to like your music in general? It's just like, I just want to do it now. Now that you're in it, I mean, it's just like I'm just gonna keep pushing as hard as I can, because that's what I again that's what comes through, and I like to see people who are doing that, but I like that no matter, like, even you starting Greybloom not that long ago, it's still like you're still on that trajectory of like, oh, I'm going to just push as hard as I can on this thing.
Yes.
Erin was saying last time when she was here, just like that you guys kind of balance each other out in that aspect. So it kind of helps. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I believe so. Yeah. Like, I just, I just kind of see it as like, you know, we are fulfilling like our inner child, like with doing this band, but it's also like we don't know when the end of Greybloom could be. We don't know how it would end. It could go forever, you know. But so that's why it's like you just gotta do your best to be in the present moment. Like, just work hard at what experience do you want in this band, and like we want to learn everything. We want to like show whoever is listening to us that like we're going to explore and expand this genre and write in different styles because we've never done that. And we love like so many different like genres of music that it's like we want to incorporate that in our music. And like, you know, we have people's attention span for so long. It's like, I'm going to say what I need to say, make my point clear as day. And then if people dig it, awesome. And then if they don't, then
okay.
We're gonna like focus on what fulfills us first as artists.
Yeah.
And then like hopefully the audience, you know, will connect in their own ways. But like it's just so cool for music, like when a song is first originated, it means something different versus like when it's been around for a few years, it's taking on another meaning. Even though it's like the, you know, same chords, same lyrics. It's like growing with us. So like it's cool that we get to be able to like go out there and like play these songs that we've had for a couple of years now, and also play new music and like just hear how other people connect with them. Like that is such a sacred connection. Yeah.
Yeah, in a very must be like a very like fulfilling part as far as like it feels like the second half of like that music for you, because you wrote a song, you know the meaning you're putting behind it, and then you get these people coming in with their perspectives and like what it means to them, and it's just like whoa, it's like a gap being bridged, and it could have two different meanings based on like how they heard it, you know, when they heard it, what was going through them, and then how you wrote it. In this new project, do you have any like lyrical themes that went throughout, or what kind of did you tackle with this new project?
Yeah. So when I was writing for it, like a general rule of thumb when I'm writing lyrics is like I really want to put a story to people's daily experiences that might not have a platform, and also experiences that like I'm a healthy person, you know, I truly don't have health or physical struggles, and right now like I'm in my 30s, like I'm living my best life, you know. But it's also like I guess I just want to empathize with people who like have daily struggles where it's like if they aren't living their best but they're striving to, and I just want to understand that more. So like I came across a couple friends who have like narcolepsy, like a sleeping disorder.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? So, like I've heard about it and seen like instances, but I've never like known anybody to have it. So
yeah, and like they would share with me like their struggles or like just every day what it takes for them to even like wake up and just do the bare minimum routine. And people who like struggle with insomnia, or for me personally, it's not a struggle, but I have a very like high imagination, I would say. So like my dreams are crazy, and I'm very like I'm always dreaming.
I can attest.
Yeah.
she tells me about
I'm sure
them,
you're the
and
one that listens to that.
Yeah, they're wild.
Yeah, and like part of that is I think I'm blanking on the word now because like I'm on a podcast. But basically it's like, so for example, one of the songs is about my relationship experience with one of my like grandmothers. I didn't really grow up knowing her, and the time I did know her, it wasn't the most pleasant. And I always just felt hurt and angered by like, why don't I have this grandmother experience as a kid growing up? And I missed out on that so much. And I was like very hurt for a long time. But then one day she just kind of appeared on my parents' doorstep while I was living at their house at the time too. And I was just like, I haven't seen her or spoken to her in years, and she's here right now. Like, what's going on? Then years later, find out that she has Alzheimer's and probably lived with undiagnosed like bipolar disorder most of the time that I knew of her. Wow. Yeah. And like she passed away last year, and like it's when her passing happened, it just kind of it struck a different emotion in me I didn't really feel before, and I don't really quite know how to put a word to it, because it's like I didn't know this person, but I felt like I should have, you know. And like the only time I really connected with her was through dreams. And you know, like dreaming is, you know, like suppressed longings and desires that aren't happening in your reality, so they come up in like while you're sleeping. And I think that's what my brain was doing, was processing like this relationship I really longed for with my grandma. And but like premonition is like the word.
Okay. You got it.
But I feel like I experience that a lot, like premonitions where I just get this gut feeling and then it happens, and I just feel like there are things that happen beyond our 3D world without getting too like metaphysical, but like I'm just open to the experience, and it happens, and I think it's supposed to bring a form of healing, some kind of connection that didn't happen in our physical world. So that is expressed in the song. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's honestly like it is, and it's kind of a little, I guess, relatable. So both my grandmas passed away last year, and I had this kind of the same experience of like I had a relationship with them, and then I didn't. Well, one was in Mexico, so I had like the memories I had on like trips and stuff like that, but I never really got to know her. But as I got older, I had like 2 trips that I did as what I consider like an adult, which was into my 20s, and where I would be able to speak to them as like an adult and be like, have an actual real conversation where I wasn't getting treated as like, oh, like you're gonna go do like the kid stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And then hearing just a fraction of what like that woman went through, and just being like, oh, what the fuck? Like it's crazy. And then it was during like a shift that I had, because I remember the shift when it happened, and I've spoken about this before, but I had a shift with like my mom where I never saw her as a person. She was just my mom. You know what I mean? So I don't see them as like having the same worries that I do and things like that. And then like I remember the moment it happened when that switch, and then like everything came through. I'm like, oh my God, like she's exactly like dealing with the same stuff that I do. Yeah. Like the same fears, thoughts, stuff like that happens. But that's what I thought about like both of my grandmothers. I'm like, oh, I never got to really know them like that. You know, I knew them as, you know, just my grandmothers, you know what I mean? Like they were that for me. So I never got to know them really as a person. And I had a little bit of that like regret that I was like, I really wish I did. Like I really wish I did like maybe talk to them a little bit more and know a little bit more of that, versus just having that relationship like on the surface level. I don't have like any bad memories with them in this case, which would be a little different. But again, it's not, I didn't really get to know them as a person. But I remember I just had this thing, because when my second grandmother passed, I was sitting out here, and I had always heard, what is it, like whenever you see a cardinal, it's supposed to be like your family member or somebody like coming to see you or whatever. Yeah. And I was sitting, and I it's the first time I've experienced loss, like really like in where it affected me, like both times. Yeah. And I was sitting like at my desk, which is facing like the window to the outside. And I was just thinking of sitting there. And it's one of those moments where like, again, it's my first time literally learning how to deal with this. So every now and then it would just hit me. But that was one of the moments. And I was just thinking about them and thinking about that, and like good memories. But then I just like started feeling really down, and I had been feeling really like depressed for like the past week. And I was like, it's really dark in here. Let me just like open the window, and then I see one little cardinal, like little bushes in front of me, and I'm just like, I'd start like crying, and I'm just like, okay. And then like I turn away, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's something about cardinals. I hadn't remembered, so I looked it up, and I looked down at my phone to look it up. I looked back up, and then there's a second one literally standing next to each other, and then that's when I completely lost it and started crying my eyes out.
I have goosebumps.
I do too.
Like,
oh my god,
in a good way, but I'm like, there's no way. Like, and they're like, just both like sitting next to you. I'm just like, it helped push me a little bit through that day, because I was literally like, I don't know, because I was feeling guilty because of that. So I was feeling regret and guilty that I'm like, I didn't do enough like to get to know them and stuff like that. And that just, I don't know, kind of just took that a little bit away from me for a little bit. It's like, all right, like, I can't really dwell on that. There's nothing to do anymore of that. But like for me, I was just like, okay, maybe that means I should reach out to like more people, and like that I want to keep in my life. Maybe I should. So I started like calling some of my aunts and stuff like that, just randomly. But that's a really huge feeling to tackle into like a song and music. So I definitely see how that would be really powerful. And goes back to what you're saying about lyrically on both projects, like the project before and this project, like the lyrics are still heavy, even though like the instrumentation like changed. Like you still tackle that. Even that, and even like with Black Dog, like I saw a little bit of like the video where you're kind of like explaining that as well. I think that's really cool, because it's another one of those topics where maybe most people wouldn't think to write a song about that specific like encounter, because that was like about your like friend's dog that just recently passed, and like the memories. That's not something I think anyone commonly like runs to like as far as like subject matter. But it's cool that you can still create something out of a story like that, to think about like pets, because that was another one where I was like, oh yeah, like we've all had like pets that have gotten us through like moments and things like that. So I really like the subject matter. So when I was listening to the EP, I was like, I really want to see the lyrics to go along with this, so I can really like understand like what you were going through. Because when we talked about the previous project and lyrics, I found those really interesting. So I really wanted to know what like this project was like about.
Yeah, I would say like the main theme or inspiration is like related with sleeping disorders and dreams, and I just kind of took that as a metaphor for like one of the songs really is about a person who has narcolepsy and their experience, but I think it can be metaphorically relatable as like how many of us feel like we're sleepwalking through life, and like we're just on autopilot going through the day, and just kind of like, for me, I'm a very introspective internal person. And so I like, whenever something bad or tragic is happening, I just escape to like my, I don't know, imagination, or just like the part of me that's like creative. But instead of trying to stay inward, I need to express it in an outward way. And I find that being in Greybloom and writing songs about it is that perfect balance of like helping me remain soft without getting too hard and bitter from the losses and tragedies that life will bring. Yeah, it helps me kind of accept it a lot more.
I love that. I love that a lot. So now you guys now live together as well. So how has that been like for like the band experience alone? Like,
it's super convenient.
Yeah.
We record everything in my bedroom.
Really? Yeah. I see the videos of like y'all tracking. I'm like, where is this?
Yeah, literally in my room.
Yeah. It's funny, like I'll wake up and then wait for Erin to wake up, and then she'll be like, okay, I'm ready to track whenever you are. Like, let me make my coffee.
I'm just picturing you like sitting down in like the living room, just like
she literally is, dude. She's an early riser. Yeah. I'm not that early riser. But
so did y'all track everything then for the newest EP?
We did not track. Well, so we tracked all the vocals, guitars, yes. Aaron Quinn,
yes,
actually tracked all the bass on the EP.
We're super proud of her. Yeah,
She's
shout out
amazing.
Quinn.
Yeah, obviously she plays with us all our shows and stuff. But yeah, she came in and tracked all the parts and killed it. So yeah, she slayed. And then for drums, we collaborated remotely with a good friend of ours named Rob Everett, who did drum on Sage on the first EP.
Okay.
And he did drums on a couple of my songs as well. So we've been friends with him for a long time and been doing collaborations and stuff with him remotely for a while. But yeah, he wrote and tracked all the drums for us on this EP, and he absolutely killed it as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's super sick. And then I don't know when this is going to come out before. I don't know if it's a spoiler, but you have a guest spot.
We did.
Yeah. We can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout him out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's our friend.
It's our friend. It's our friend.
That's all you get.
It's a friend you've seen before.
Like everyone's a friend.
Can we say it together? 3, 2, 1. Luke Shiflett from Margins. Fuck.
Oh my God.
We love him. We love Luke so much. He's just been like such a great friend to us, but also supporter. And it just didn't. It wouldn't have felt right to like not have him be a feature.
Well, he's so talented.
So talented. Yeah.
Your voices together sound so fucking cool on that last track. It just like it's
was
such a cool
crying.
dynamic.
Yeah, when we sent him the song and the feature, originally he was just gonna do the dueling screaming part with her, and the singing part, he was not originally gonna be singing in that. And
really?
when he sent us his stuff back, he was like, "Oh, I just did like a little singing part in there. If you want to keep it, keep it. If not, it's whatever." So we didn't even really like hear all of it. We sent everything to Jeremy, our producer, and when we got the song back and we listened to it, his vocal comes in with the singing.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" Like. It blew
beautiful.
It blew us away.
Yeah.
And obviously we left it in there because it's incredible. Yeah, he freaking killed it.
That's kind of crazy that he just like threw it in there. And
He
like,
did.
let's see what's.
Yeah, that was all him. That was all him.
That's so fucking cool because it just works so perfectly. Again, with like your voice going, like both of yours, it kind of go at like around the same time, like and cross over a little bit. But yeah, I love the juxtaposition of both of your voices. Like it just fucking works in that. And he like his voice is so cool. Like I noticed. But yeah, that just seemed to work. But I think it just goes to show about like the testament about like your collaborative efforts that you've done like with like this project alone and just in general like you meeting because I mean y'all went on the road with Margins last year, right?
We did.
And it's just cool to go up to after that like now like you guys have a song together and stuff like that. It just shows how much those like relationships and benefit like that you build with other musicians or other people you meet in this community and scene just can keep producing like for forever for the life of like that relationship. It's so awesome and that definitely worked out. But that's so crazy that he just like, oh, I'm just gonna throw something in there because I really like that. I'm like, that's so cool.
So did we.
Because I was gonna ask like I was like, well, how does that? I always wonder how like guest vocals like happen or guest spots like especially when you're writing a song like if you tell them like this is kind of like what I want or you let them go freely. And in this case, I guess it was a little bit of both, right?
Yeah, I think too, like lyrically, the song, I wanted it to sound like it was happening like in a relationship, like one person is struggling and then there's a other person like not understanding. Just like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like a romantic relationship, I guess, but just like in general, like when someone is really going through it and just struggling and the lack of empathy and understanding and just like I wanted that to be expressed in that bridge. And I felt like his voice would express that emotion and meaning in a very good way. Yeah. And nailed it. Like,
absolutely. Yeah. Which is kind of cool because then you see that somebody actually who you're working with I was gonna say it in the stupidest way. I'm like, oh, he understood the assignment, but
He did.
that's what I mean. Like they actually like paid attention to like what the subject matter or like the vibe of the song was and what's gonna work best here, you know, and actually like give it an honest effort that reflects what even you were going for and be like, oh, like that's not. You know, that's not what I wasn't even thinking that was going to be in there, but it works perfectly with this, you know. So someone understood where you were coming from musically, like, which again is why like bands do really well, or just, you know, musicians in general, is when you have that understanding in your own band, but like when you have it with people on the outside and they're still seeing like able to still discern that and interpret it and again like deliver a performance like that. I think that's so fucking cool. Again, it's someone that sees what y'all are trying to do and it's like, okay, I'm gonna do my best to also like add something to it. But yeah, I think the EP is so cool. So it's gonna come out next month now. This will probably be out. I don't know.
Like 3 weeks or so.
Yeah. So I think this one will be out right before that. But that's cool. Super cool. Do you guys have any plan for the rollout of it, or is it just like we're just gonna put it out and start playing?
We're figuring it out.
Yeah, we're figuring it out day by day.
No judgment here. Figure it out.
Day by day.
But okay, as a DIY band, we have tended to not do a ton of things in terms of like promotion and rollout. We usually do like a little bit of promo and then we're just like, here it is. But with this EP, we're very, very proud of it.
Yeah.
And we want people to hear it.
Yeah.
So we're putting a little bit more, work into it this time. Like we're hitting up some blogs and reviewers and that sort of deal to, you know, just hopefully get it in some more ears and that sort of thing. But yeah, We'll see.
I feel like it's gonna do so well. Like I mean, that's going for me. I just heard it today. So, but no, I liked it a lot, and I'm really. It's really cool to see. Like I said, I keep bringing it back to that, but it's because I've seen the band over the last year grow and like putting out something like this again, pushing yourself musically, getting the bond, like your writing bond, just create like getting a lot deeper. Which the writing shows that in the new record. It's just super good, and you definitely should be proud of it, which I know you are. And I can't wait for everybody to hear that.
Yes.
But we actually have a few Q&As that we can do, like right now, if you want to answer some questions.
Yes.
Some people over at the Instagrams. Let's see what these are. They're not weird. I promise. I scanned it.
Good.
Well, let's start with a weird one. It's not crazy weird.
You said it's not that weird.
Not that weird.
Okay.
All right. Someone asked, in chicken wings, do you go flats or drums?
Oh.
What?
Okay. Okay. Chicken wings, like with bone in, not boneless, bone in chicken wings. They're asking, do you prefer the drumstick or the flat ones?
Like the wings?
Yes. Like which shape? I eat boneless wings. Don't cancel me.
I also
okay?
do
Chicken
boneless.
nuggies, all right? Call them by what they
Yeah,
are.
whatever. I don't care. But if I have to eat like a bone-in wing, flat, of course. Like it's just so much. The meat is better. It's easier to eat. But yeah, we're boneless
Yeah.
Boneless
girlies.
girlies.
Yeah.
Boneless girlies.
We are boneless. Yeah.
You're boneless. Oh, God. Okay. Here we go. We got a few. How did y'all meet?
Ow.
Take it away.
We met through a mutual friend, Jeremy, who we said earlier is like also our producer. He contacted us and was like, hey, y'all should get coffee sometime. Or I feel like if you're trying to make friends in Dallas, y'all would be good friends together. And so I reached out to Erin and was like, you want to get coffee sometime and just like hang out? And so we did one day, and just after that conversation, I was just like, I feel like I'm talking to like myself in the mirror, kind of, because we just have a lot of similarities as far as like music goes and kind of like life experiences and humor. And I was like, oh yeah, like if she's cool with it, she's gonna be like a friend for life. In my mind, like she's a homie.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, shortly after, we were like texting back and forth. I was just like, hey, you know, like I really want to start a band. Like, what do you think about writing a heavy song together and just see where that takes us? And then, she wrote a guitar part for Monolith. And after hearing it, I was just like, we're starting a band. And then literally, it's on. We have literally been attached at the hip for the last like 4 years. I probably have seen you like almost every day.
Yeah.
And that's the most I've ever like seen someone besides family. Like,
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
An arranged friendship and band. That's
It's true. And now he's our producer. You see what he was really
he
about.
knew what he was doing.
But also, shout him out. Jeremy Schaefer.
Yeah.
He's incredible. He's in a band called Earth Groans, but he's an incredible producer and has
Yeah.
a studio, so plug for him real quick.
Yeah. He's also like tapping into doing front of house work and doing sound for bands like Johnny Booth. So if you, Dallas, if you saw Johnny Booth recently, like Jeremy was there. So
Did their live sound.
Yeah.
He kills it.
All right. Okay. When do y'all think you'll put out a full album?
dude, that's a good question.
We've already been talking about it.
Been talking. We haven't been working on it. But
No. That's the thing is like with the first 2 EPs, we've like very much taken our time with them. This EP came together faster than the first one did, but we have already just discussed it. Yeah, we want to do it.
Yeah, I think the bigger obstacles of like why we haven't done a full length yet is because of the cost. Like it's just us two funding the band and like all the music that we're putting out. It's like the cost is split in half, and that's still like a lot. So I think we're gonna, once we release this new EP, we really want to like play shows again, possibly tour more, spend the next couple years like just playing more shows, and then hopefully see where we're at financially, and maybe we'll get some more like support to be able to like write a full length, because I think we're getting there. I think we're getting to the point where it's like we're structuring out our songs, we have concept ideas. So yeah, we're gonna take some time for like the full length to be inspired, I guess.
Percolate.
To percolate.
Yes. If you want to help out, go to a show and buy a shirt.
Yeah, buy a shirt, please.
Please.
Okay, and I guess this is a weird one. Someone said, "Can I get a kiss?"
Oh, who said that?
Lauren Finley.
Dude. Yeah, we'll kiss her on the cheek.
Okay.
But she did like a voice cover. Voice cover.
Really? A voice cover.
A vocal cover.
A Monolith, right? Yeah, she killed it.
Killed it.
She killed it.
She lives out in Kentucky or something
Yeah.
like that. We haven't played there yet, but
No.
once we see her, I'm like, dude, come on stage and do this with me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this is what's a song that you wish was a Greybloom song? What's a song you wish like you had written?
Dude.
Got real quiet, real big.
That's such a good question.
That is the. I don't know, because any song we've written has always been like, we're just so happy and proud of like what we're writing. We don't really.
I think that's more asking like, what's just a song that you love so
Basically,
much that you're like, I wish this was my song.
Okay.
You know?
I guess for me personally, I would say anything by like Chelsea Wolfe
Yeah.
or like Emma Ruth Rundle. Like I really look up to them as singer-songwriters. And we just saw Chelsea Wolfe in concert earlier this month. And I'm just like, I just wish I could write like her. Like just have her perspective and just have those lyrics come out naturally.
I'm going to compliment you real quick. I do think your writing style is very similar to hers.
What?
It is. It very much is.
Oh.
It's very. It is. But I mean that makes sense because I know she's one of your biggest inspirations.
Yeah.
Your writing styles are lyrically very, very similar. Yeah. And I'm not just saying that.
Yay.
I'm just saying that, people.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, for real. I was literally about to say like the same song that I was talking about the last time I was here, "Pushing the Pink Envelope" by the Cowboys. Like I can't stop talking about that song.
That's
it's the coolest song I've ever heard.
So good.
I said it once, I'll say it again. Listen to that fucking song, people.
Yeah.
God, it's insane.
Yeah.
You look at the camera when you want to drive a point. I told you.
Listen to the song.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I just had one for myself, which was like, who are your? So this I guess kind of goes along the same thing, but who are your like dream touring bands?
Well, okay, we got to open for Silent Planet last year, which is like
Yes.
another big like offer.
Crazy.
And like they did reach out to us to like jump on a few dates on their last tour that they did recently, but like last minute we couldn't make it work. But I feel like that would be so cool if we could pull off like
Silent Planet.
Yeah, I would love
that's up there for sure.
yeah, open for them. Or even Callous Cowboys. I know we just mentioned, but like
We love them.
yeah, such a great live band.
Did you see them? I fucking.
No, I didn't get to see them when they
No.
were just here. I wish
missed
I was
it.
working, but yeah.
We saw them last summer.
We did. We saw them last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're insanely good. But I mean, why am I blanking now? I was literally about to say a band, but now I can't think of it.
Caspian.
No, I mean, yeah, but that's not what I was gonna say. You're gonna have to cut this out because I'm just sitting
No,
here
it's
like
gonna
trying
be
to.
complete silence. Complete silence here. Nah.
Wait, let me actually think for a second. What am
Okay.
I about to say?
me- I don't know the lyrics, but
God, what's that?
it's our songs.
Our song?
Yeah,
It's Black Dog.
Black Dog.
Oh,
We're gonna listen to it on the car ride back.
I'm sorry.
So you get it.
That went right over my head. Fuck.
I thought I was making it better. I made it worse. I think I did a good job.
Yeah.
You did. I just hit a ding dong and it didn't register in my brain. Dang it. I guess I don't have an answer because like I really did have a band in my head and I'm like, dang, it went away.
Is it like what level band?
Like a Silent Planet.
Okay.
Yeah. Rollo Tomasi.
Oh yeah.
We saw them with Callous Cowboys last summer, but Rollo Tomasi is like, they're from the UK, so they don't play over here very often. But they're another big inspo for us.
Yeah, they are.
Also,
Yeah.
fucking Spirit Box. Hello.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they are getting really massive. But
I didn't
like,
say it was realistic. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
Yeah. Like a dream band. Yeah.
You're supposed to be the dreamer here, right?
All right,
Anything
you're right.
is possible.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know how well we would fit together on like a tour package, but
Yeah.
who cares?
Playing big-
Genres are fake. I'll die on that hill.
There you
Yes.
go. Yeah. That's what we base this whole thing on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. Okay. Nice. We figured it out. Okay. So EP dropping April 13th.
19.
19th?
Yeah.
Fuck, what's the 13th?
I don't know.
I must have something to do on the 13th.
Yeah.
I don't make lists, so
there's like
I
another
don't know. So the 19th, April 19th, dropping EP. You are going on tours. You'll be back by then, right?
We're leaving right after that.
After.
Right after that.
We're leaving
Okay.
April 22nd, and we'll be back May 6th.
So go see Greybloom and any one of those dates if you're in any one of those cities, because it's gonna be fucking cool. Anything else you guys want to plug in, talk about?
We have a couple of collabs coming out.
We do.
Down the road.
What do you mean?
Like
Like us clapping
Oh,
on other
yeah.
people's songs.
yeah, like they asked us to like
Yeah. On
Right,
their
with
releases.
those. Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah. So that'll be out later this year. Mm-hmm. We may have another release this year.
we might.
We've talked about it. We'll see.
I don't like this mysterious thing. It's fine. I'm gonna make y'all tell me after we turn this on.
Fine.
No, that's super cool. Check out everything, Greybloom. Thank you so much for stopping by and coming in. Again, you are completely always welcome. I'm so happy that literally a year ago we was talking for the first time, and now like I'm seeing like where you guys are at today, and it's amazing. And so we might need to make it a yearly thing too, around the same time, and see what happens.
Yes.
Every year. But thank you for stopping by. Thank you guys for listening. This has been episode 104 with Greybloom. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.